The installation of the RETRAX for the Honda Ridgeline is simple and should take about an hour to complete. You will need the printed instruction guide during actual installation. Tools needed will be a ratchet, a 1/4-inch socket, a No. 2 Phillips screwdriver, a knife or a pair of scissors, and a drill with a 1/2-inch bit. The cover for the Ridgeline is shipped in 2 boxes. Be sure to check that both boxes have HR on the label. Open the large box first and remove the front cover and set aside. Then lift the canister out of the box and set it on the shipping end caps. You will also find the instruction packet with keys, the drain tube kit, and accessories such as the tailgate gasket. Next, open the rail box at the end with the label. Remove the mounting hardware box. Then slide the rails out of the rail box. Carefully unwrap the rails from the foam to prevent scratching. On the tailgate end of the rails, shown here, are welded brackets, and on the driver's side closest to us, a white nylon lock stop. At the cab end of the rails is the RETRAX stickers, and turning those rails over, there is an inspected by sticker on the passenger side. Remove the contents of the hardware mounting kit and lay them out for use during the installation process. We will get back to specifics as we go. This is the passenger side view of the spiral canister. The mounting bracket will be removed first. A No. 2 Phillips screwdriver is used for that. Next, the shipping tubes are removed completely. We are now ready to install the passenger rail to the spiral canister. The bearings enter the channel of the rail as the rail is being slid over the cover. Keeping the rail and the cover level will help in the installation process. You will be using 2 of the rail mount screws to attach the passenger rail to the canister. Slide the rail into place on the inside of the clear spiral. The screws go through the holes on the spiral and thread into the holes on the rail. Use a No. 2 Phillips screwdriver. Start both screws, then tighten both securely. Next up is attaching the driver's side rail to the spiral canister. First, remove the white zip tie used for shipping. Once that is done, remove the shipping tube completely. Next, lift up the lock cover and press the round release button on the lock and leave in the open position. Install the driver's rail in the same way as the passenger's rail. Start the bearings into the rail and slide into place. Attach the rail with the remaining 2 screws. The front cover is the next to be installed. Use the 2 front cover screws as shown. Unwrap the front cover from its protective plastic and slide it into place under the rails. Let's take a closer look at that. The notched area of the front cover goes under the rails first, so bring into position with the weather strip towards you, then slide the front cover into place until the screw holes in the rails line up over the threaded holes in the front cover. Using a No. 2 Phillips screwdriver, tighten the passenger side completely, and then finish with the driver's side. Remove the adhesive backing on both sides of the front cover weather strip and push into place under each rail. You will now be using the supplied Torx bit and Allen wrench. It is now time to get the bed ready for the installation of the RETRAX bed cover. Starting at the driver's front corner, we'll identify the bolt that will be removed using the No. 40 Torx bit and a ratchet. These will be identical on either side, the driver's side being shown, the passenger side next. Then we'll be going to the driver's rear. At the post area there will be another one, and repeat that on the passenger side. Here we're identifying the tie-down area in the front corners of the bed. Using the supplied foam filler pieces, remove the backing, position, and push into place, and repeat on the passenger side. Shown here are the locations for the plastic plugs, one on each side. Just lift them into place and push until they seat. Next we will be installing the front mount brackets to the existing holes in the front of the bed. The two mounting brackets are identical. Use two of the mounting bolts along with the lock washers to install the brackets. Position the brackets as shown and start threading into the hole. Be sure to keep the top of the mounting bracket level as you tighten the bolt. This view is the installed mount bracket and the foam filler piece. We will now identify the drain tube plugs that we will remove and use later for the exit of the drain tubes themselves. We will get back to that shortly. Remove the protective plastic over the canister. With one person on each side, lift as shown at the very front and a couple feet back. Carefully lift the bed cover into position. The rails will be going under the tie downs on each side. Final positioning of the bed cover is best done from inside the bed. Lift the canister slightly and push towards the front wall. Be sure the front cover weather strip is level and in position across the front wall of the bed. You will now be using the two front cover bracket screws with black screw caps. Using a number 2 Phillips screwdriver, carefully start threading the screws through the front cover and into the threaded holes on top of the brackets that we installed earlier. Do not tighten the screws yet, and repeat on the passenger side. To attach the rails at the rear, use the last two mounting bolts, flat washers, and white nylon spacers. Bring the spacer behind the welded-on bracket of the rail and slide the screw with the washer through the bracket, through the spacer, and start threading. This is a view of the passenger rear mount area with the bolt, the washer, going through the bracket with the spacer in between. It is now time to tighten all 4 mounting screws securely. This rubber spacer may be needed on the passenger side for clearance over the tailgate. This is common on 2008, most 2009, and 2010 models. These views are from underneath the passenger rail at the rear bracket area. Remove the backing from the rubber spacer and place into position as shown. Next we will assemble the drain tube kit shown here. We have the drain tubes, the foam washers, and the fittings. To insert the black fitting into the drain tubes, it helps to moisten the end of the tube. Once it is started, twist the tube and push onto the fitting until all the threads are covered by the tube. Next, place the foam washer over the top of the fitting and position it evenly all around. Insert the assembled drain tubes into the holes on the bottom of each end of the canister. Push straight in until it clicks into place. Pull down to test the proper fit. These are the 2 rubber plugs that have been removed from the front corners of the bed earlier. They have been drilled with a 1/2-inch drill bit on the loose side to allow the drain tube to fit through them. Notice also that they have been drilled slightly off-center. The tubes will be slid through those and cut down to length. Now you'll be sliding the drain tube through the hole that you drilled in the rubber plug. Cut the length of the tube to fit properly and push the rubber plug back into place. The last step in the installation process for the Honda Ridgeline is to check the operation of the RETRAX. Open and close the cover a few times to make sure nothing's binding or rubbing. Once that is done, it's time to remove the protective plastic sheet. Be sure to remove that before it is exposed to direct sunlight. Well, that about wraps up our installation process. As you can see, it's not only easy to install, but it's also very easy to operate. Once again, the RETRAX for the Honda Ridgeline is a custom-built cover built exactly to fit that model and that model only. The ease of use, the security, and the looks far surpass anything else on the market. I thank you for your time. If you have any questions, you can always reach us at 800-206-4070, and for further information, you can visit us at our website, www.rolltopcover.com.